What's up, everybody? Hey, welcome to Perry's Late Night. I hope everybody's getting ready for a lovely weekend. Sharrell, what's up with you?
Nothing. Ready to see this?
Yeah. Now,
This.
this story, it's pretty good, right? But I was going to say this too. Now, with this one, I had something else planned for tonight. But when I seen this one today, I was like, I think I'd rather go with this. So, people, I haven't seen it all the way through. But it was enough. It was interesting enough for me to, get it ready to watch together, I guess. But this is about this young lady finds out that her family members had something to do with Ken, her father,
Stepfather, yeah.
his stepfather. It was a stepfather, and it's just a trip, And I don't know, no friends can tell me this or relate to this, but I'm sure some people in the chat might. But I figure we'll hang out and figure out what happened at the end together. Well,
I wanted to say this before we get started. So, you guys, in the description, I'm going to leave a link to our IG updates because we don't know what's going to happen at TikTok. And we just got a lot of stuff going on at one time. So if you sign up for that, it'll keep you updated. And I'll leave that in the link. And then I wanted to say, Perry, you should start you're getting too many and you don't have time to play them all. Right. Maybe you should just play some during the day and people can watch them if they get a chance. Because
maybe I should though, because that's the problem.
Right? You're running out of room.
I'm sort of addicted to it. Right? I mean, because I'm so tired of reality TV. I'm ready to move on and just find something like, hey, I'll sit back and have a cold one and check it out. I'm like, man, this is interesting. So
well, I mean, you can't help the family that you're born into. That's crazy.
Yeah. So maybe I can just do it, and then whether people can watch it live or not, they can just catch up with it or something.
Okay, you ready? Let's get started.
Let's get into it.
Come to find out, my mother was behind getting her ex-husband killed. And the thing is, it's not just, he just wasn't anybody. He was a lieutenant firefighter. And the way the story all came out, they didn't find out that my mother was behind it for 2 years after his death. The first situation, when he was originally found dead, he was shot and killed in their driveway. My brother calls me and tells me that he was shot and killed and that my mother was crying, losing it, gone crazy. The whole entire time, there ended up being a 2-year investigation to figure out what happened to him.
I just want to ask, how come she's not crying?
No, you know what?
She was like, hey, yeah, he killed my mom. My mom killed him.
That's the same thing. I'm looking at her like, hey, damn, did you give a damn? I know it was the stepfather, but she's sitting there fixing her bum or whatever they call it, that thing in the back, and yeah, child, yeah, and then he got powed in the driveway, and find out she don't even sound too upset that her mother's in a clanker.
All right, I thought it was just me. I'm like, I thought I was gonna be crying this whole video. Let's keep going. Oh, someone said this happened years ago. Oh, it did? Okay, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit. Now let's keep going.
Upon the investigation, it was found out that my mother had paid my little sister's boyfriend to find somebody to help her kill her husband. And not just kill him for no particular reason. She killed him to get the insurance money. But come to find out, his ex-wife was still on the insurance policy. So essentially, my mother did all of that for nothing. And then that's how she ended up becoming donkey of the day. She got him killed. It was a whole...
I'm going to stop it for a second because somebody had said, maybe it's been 2 years. Maybe she's don't grieve. Yeah, that's possible. But what I'm saying is I don't see a care in the world. Like, just because you have a stepfather don't mean you have to like him. So if he was to disappear...
Perry, there's no emotion. We got to hear this story. So
I'm saying that. But to answer the question in the chat, they saying maybe it's been 2 years for the investigation. Maybe she had grieved already. It don't sound like she grieving for the mother neither. Is what I'm saying. But I'm going to go ahead.
Go ahead.
Whole big thing. It was so sad. All for the insurance money that she wasn't even on a policy for. What makes it so bad is that a whole community was affected by his death. He was such an amazing man. He did so much for the community. It was just unfortunate that he had to die under those type of circumstances. So when it all came out, it was said that my mother got my little sister's boyfriend to hire his cousin, who then hired somebody else to be the shooter and killed him while he came back from getting his McDonald's. So my sister comes to me and tells me that she just got an indictment from a grand jury. I'm like, girl, what is going on? And at the time, my sister was underage. So I'm like, what are you talking about? An indictment for what? And she said she didn't know. Come to find out, it was about her ex-boyfriend, his cousin, and a bunch of other people got indicted. During the indictment, I get her lawyer because I'm like, I don't know what the heck is going on. This sounds crazy. I've never been involved in anything like this, so I don't know what to do. So when she gets back from her trial, she tells me that her boyfriend happened to be at the house when our stepfather was killed. All of that information was not told during the funeral, during the whole thing. So I'm looking at her sideways like, okay, listen, I don't know what's going on. I don't care what's going on. You don't even have to tell me what's going on. But I do know, you better tell that grand jury what you really know. Because at the end of the day, somebody is going to jail. And you need to make sure that it's not you. Because your life is going to be over. I don't care. I don't care who you got to tell on. I don't care who you got to snitch on. Your mama, your boyfriend, whoever. Whatever you know, you better tell them. A couple days later, she comes back to me and tells me she has an opportunity to go back and talk to the grand jury again. I said, girl, I don't know what's going on, but you better tell them. She comes back. Her attorney, because she's underage, her attorney has been, talking to me. And because I paid the deposit, the attorney tells me that she's looking to be part involved in this damn trial, that they have all this evidence against my mother as being the prime suspect in the murder. I said, what? What do you mean? How is she the prime suspect? And they're like, well, it looks like your mother was after the insurance money. And so now we have everybody willing to do a plea to testify against your mother and find her guilty of all of this. And I'm blown away because I'm like, how is that even possible? Like, when did this happen? But I did know my mother was moving really, really foul. Things got really, really scary. And when I tell y'all, next thing I know, the media was swarming me, calling me, trying to get the scoop. It was crazy.
So at this point, I am stressed out because I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to believe. Like, this is all a big, wash to me because literally I was with my mother planning this man's funeral. Because my mother was so distraught, she couldn't make some of the finalized decisions. Like, I wrote the obituary, I was talking with his ex-wife, I was helping his daughter. I just felt like, I don't know if y'all seen that SpongeBob meme, and it's all that stuff kind of going around, and you're just looking oh my gosh, I had an anxiety attack because I couldn't believe all this stuff was happening. And, all these media outlets were reaching out to me. And so then when I was talking to my sister's lawyer, he pretty much explained to me that they found out my mother was the prime suspect because one of the kids, I call them kids because they were so young that my mother got to do this. They told a lot of people, to get some type of street cred that they got a body or whatever. So this cousin got picked up on a minor like drug charge. Like I think he had like some weed or something on him. And so instead of him, taking that charge, he was like, whoa, instead of me doing jail time, what if I told y'all I can give y'all information on a mystery that y'all been trying to solve for so long, for the past 2 years, a high quality, big case that I can crack for y'all if y'all let me off. And because this dude had receipts, he was able to back this stuff up. And that's how they even found out about it. And this would happen literally 2 years after Will was killed. So come to find out, he has all the receipts and he starts singing like a bird and getting everybody's coming down. And so then my sister's involved because my sister knew about it and didn't say anything. And because she was underage, even though like I have more stories to tell about my mother, but one of the things is like my mother is very manipulative. And so we've had a really up and down relationship. And so the fact that my sister was able to control my sister like this, like lets me know like how desperate she really was. So what she tried to do is, have my sister know and kind of put that over her head that if she ever said anything, then she's going down too. And so I think that's why my sister originally was super scared and didn't know what to say to the grand jury. Like,
Perry, I don't care what you say. So people are talking about this in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
She's just, something is off with her. She's just telling the story like, and then the media call and girl, I don't know. I'm not feeling.
Go ahead.
I'm just not feeling. I thought I was supposed to, be sad. Something's weird.
I know. That's like when I was watching, I was like, damn, she seems sort of bubbly, but and I didn't factor in the 2 years for the investigation part. But when you don't even care, but now she's talking about her mother always, their relationship been up and down. And she said that the stepfather was a cornerstone of the community. Everybody liked him. So I would figure she would like him too. But she did say that she helped the ex-wife and the daughter set up for the funeral. But it's just something about it. And she's like, child, you better just tell them what you know.
It's so weird. I don't know. I'm not trying to prejudge you guys, but don't tell me. I know some of you said it was in the media. Don't tell me what happened.
Somebody said she want to be a star.
Well, it does feel like she want to be a star. I hope I'm not, criticizing the victim here, but okay, let's keep going. Go ahead, Perry.
She was nervous, like all of these things going on. It just ended up being such a big thing. So at this point, it has gotten really serious. Like my sister's lawyer comes to me and saying like, yeah, this is a high profile murder case. It's going to cost about 50 bands for me to be your sister's attorney. And when that man said 50 bands, I said, excuse me, 50 what? 50, you expect me to get you 50 bands? Like, I don't, sir, I'm 25. I got married. I'm actually taking my sister's child because everybody's getting indictments and they're locking people up. Like everybody that was involved, they are. My mother, they didn't actually go get my mother. My mother actually turned herself in. Like somebody convinced her to just actually turn herself in. Because I didn't know what their plan was, how they was going to get her. Because literally everybody else that was involved was in jail, singing like a bird, because everybody got scared once, they start throwing all this stuff in your face. These boys were like 19, 20, 21, like they're all looking at life if they didn't do the plea deal. My sister, because she was treated like a minor, she was looking at juvie life and all of these things. And so I'm looking like, wow, so this is really happening. Like this is for real. So I had to really start thinking and doing my research because I don't know what's going on. I'm literally begging this lawyer. Like I'm begging him. Literally, my sister was the only person that had a lawyer. Everybody else had public defenders. When I tell you it was nothing but God You hear me? God, my God, that saved my sister. Like, for whatever reason, that man found favor with me and my sister, and he's like, I'm willing, you pay me a little bit here and there, and I'm gonna make it work, because I'm like, there's no way that my sister's gonna sit in juvie. I can't have my sister in juvie. And the crazy thing is, because my sister is in juvie, I can't even contact her, because if you're in juvenile custody, the only people that you can talk to are your parents. And since my mother was in prison, the only other person that she could talk to was her father. So if I wanted to communicate with her, I had to communicate with her father. And the crazy thing about her father, y'all, he was my abuser. He sexually abused me from the age of 5 to 12.
Wait, I need a break. Where the hell did you find? What? What? Where did you find? Huh?
It just caught my attention when I was like, your family had something to do with killing your stepfather. I'm thinking, oh shit, what kind of family you rolling with?
So people are saying this was on the news, so it must be real, but it feels real awkward. And now, so you got a mom that unalived your father, and must be an underage sister, right? Because juvenile, juvie, underage. And then her father touched you. I can't. This
It sounds like the mother had plenty of men in the house. I mean, because at this point, I mean, she got a brother too. He might have a different father. I don't know. So I guess, I mean, so that's. I'm just gonna take her word for it. She's saying that her younger sister father
right
touched her, right? So I'm just gonna leave that alone.
Okay, all right. Keep going.
So that made things really difficult. So I know I just threw y'all for a loop, because y'all wasn't expecting that to kind of happen in the story, but that's a whole separate story. But to give you a little bit of background, one of the reasons why me and my mother had such a strained relationship is because she knew that I was sexually abused, and she chose to not do anything about it until, he had really harmed her. And once he harmed her, then she was ready to go to court. We did go to court, but it ended up being a mistrial because my mother lied in the trial, because she also still wanted to maintain a relationship with him. And so because my mother was still like communicating with him, and I understand that was my little brother and sister's father, for me personally, it just didn't sit well with me. So when I got of age, 17, 18, I moved out away from my mother. And there's going to be another story time for that, because there's so many other stories within that to even get, but just to give you the Cliff Notes version so we can get back to the original story that we were talking about. It was difficult. And so my sister did end up having to go to juvie, and she went to juvie, while they were awaiting trial, but I was able to get her out on house arrest with her attorney, because then we also found out that she was pregnant again, and because she was pregnant, she was able, they didn't want anything to happen to her while she was in juvie under state care. So literally my niece saved her life. Like, my niece saved her, and helped her with her attorney to kind of build the case on why she could not be in the actual juvenile facility until they awaited trial. Y'all, trial it was almost 2 years before they went to trial for this case. So everyone that's involved has been in jail awaiting trial, because none of them made bond. They all had public defenders, and it just wasn't looking good. And so by the time the trial happened, I could not attend. I think the Lord did that on purpose, because I was pregnant with my daughter, and when the trial began, I could have went into labor. You know, you're within that couple week frame where you can go into labor. So I did not go into labor, but I was
Period. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So she's pregnant too?
Okay,
And
yes.
the
So she said when she finally got her little sister out that was underage, that was in juvie, and got her out, that she was already watching her child. But when she got her out, she found out she was pregnant. Then as she go along, now she's saying, you know, I don't mean to throw you for no curve, but then I'm pregnant. So now she's pregnant too. With her daughter, she's saying at the time.
I'm sorry. I know this is a real story. People are saying it's real, but this is my first time hearing all this.
But it is a lot of pregnant people. I'm just saying, like, that's why we getting confused.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Child, this is a mess.
updates every single day because I was just so distraught. Like I could not believe what I had heard because I was so involved with helping her through this situation with the funeral and all this stuff. So it was a mess, y'all. So before we kind of get into the trial, I gotta give you a little bit of backstory so you understand my mother and kind of how she did a really good job at manipulating people. Like my mother was the type of person that was very well spoken. She dressed really well. She spoke really highly. Like you would think that she was from like a very good, you know, she had a very good upbringing, all of these things, because this is the persona she allowed herself to feel like, to be like. So she could get people to believe that the sky was green because she would have all these facts. Like she just did a very good job at manipulating people. Like that was her thing. That's how she caught people. Because lo and behold, in reality, my mama was a scammer. But she was just very good at scamming and getting people to believe what she said. Therefore, you wouldn't think that she was a scammer. So, for example, my mother had her own business. And this business was, so in Ohio, there's a very high Jewish population. And a lot of times when some of the Jewish get older, like their kids don't send them to nursing homes. So instead of sending them to a nursing home, they will get them a private caretaker. And what my mother did is she became that caretaker by saying she was a nurse. So she got all the fake qualifications. Like she made her own college transcripts, her own degrees, all this other stuff as a nurse. And so people hired her and she got like a really good reputation because, you know, through word of mouth that she was an awesome caretaker. And so she had this one client for a very long time and it ended up going to the point that this client needed 24-hour care. And so by this client needing 24-hour care, my mother was technically supposed to be there all the time. But instead she hired people, she didn't really hire people. She hired like me and my siblings. And when I stopped doing it, because my mother really wasn't paying us, she was just making us work for her. And so with my sister was like 16, 17 at this time. And she made my sister drop out of school and work for her. And the reason why she did it was not just for her to get money, but also to trick Will that my sister also lived part-time with her dad, which was never true. So when she wasn't living with my mother, she was at her dad's house, but in actuality, she was working for my mother. And so my sister got involved with doing this because she just really wanted to have this love from my mother. Like my mother was just so harsh to us that we just wanted to feel loved. And so sometimes when you're under trauma like that, or you're in an abusive situation, like you'll do anything to please that person. And that's what happened with my sister. Like my mom just manipulated her to kind of be involved with this and kind of help her with this situation because she knew what she was doing. Okay, so y'all kind of see already like how my mother was moving and how she was acting and what was going on. So when it came to my sister, my sister was the baby, right? And there's an 8-year difference between me and my sister. And so my sister at this time was like 16, 17. My mom is just being like really mean and rude to her and just not like being a mother, right? But to Will and his kids, like she was the best thing since sliced bread. Like if you go and look at any of the interviews, like when Will's daughter found out it was my mother, she was really shocked because my mother was literally a second mother to her. Like she treated those kids way better than she treated me and my siblings. It's almost like we didn't exist and that was her new family.
Damn. This
It's a
mother,
lot.
see, and now I understand a little bit more why she has no remorse of her mother being in prison. The mother sound trifling. It's almost worse than that case we just seen where the white couple had the black kids, adopted them, and used them for slaves. She said, but she would take care of Will's kids like a real mother, but treat them like orphans.
So the mother kills the stepfather for insurance money that she's not on, right? Everybody was involved but her, right? That's what she's saying, right? How can you live in a house with everybody's in on the murder and you
Not know
and
nothing. I mean, ain't nobody saying nothing or nothing. I mean, like it seemed like you would overheard something, but I don't know.
it's crazy. You all have to bear me. I have not seen this. This feels weird. There's not one tear from her eyes. So I'm thinking maybe she didn't have. I don't know. Keep going. I would be in tears telling you how my mother. You're ready to go to jail.
Or I guess when people say you can get over grieving and stuff, and I would think you would still have some animosity and be, when you touch that subject on how bad your mother treated you, you might show a little emotion.
Mm-hmm.
So with my sister, sometimes I think she would get into it because my sister just wanted that love that she was able to show other people. She wanted to be able to feel that as well. And my mother just did not have the ability to do it because she was so focused on her own plan, her own end goal, whatever the case may be. So like I told y'all, she was a scammer, and what she was doing was sometimes my mother would make herself sick, and by making herself sick, it would almost appear as if she had cancer. So she told people that she was a cancer survivor, even though she had never had cancer, but mysteriously it came back. And what my mother would do is she would go to these different hospitals and kind of just make herself sick. So you know how you have a lot of power to control your brain, right? So like, I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where it's like, you may think that you're sick, and so you think you're sick so bad that your body starts to resemble symptoms of that sickness, right? And so that's what my mother would do. And because she hopped around to all these different hospitals, no one really had real records of her illness and what was really going on. And since she had her own business, it was almost like she didn't have insurance. And so because she didn't have insurance, and Will was such a great person, he's like, yeah, like, of course, like, let's get married and you can be on my insurance, and then I can help you and we can just figure things out. Because they were also in the process of buying a new home. Literally, the day he got shot, that next day, they were set up to move to their well, it wasn't a brand new house, but it was new to them. They were moving out the hood and going out to the burbs because they were starting this new life together. But while they had got the house, some stuff had came up where it was a lot of credit cards, a lot of loans, and stuff out in his name that we didn't know about. And so what he started to do was he got a private investigator to try to figure out what is all this going on and what's happening. So it was getting serious. Okay, y'all. So I told y'all that Will was, getting suspicious about what was going on. And so my mother, originally what I found out during the trial is that she reached out to my little brother and sister's father for help, to help her try to figure out how to get rid of, this situation, so Will wouldn't know that, my mother was behind all of it. Because I don't know if she was afraid or I don't know what her end goal was.
Okay, maybe I could have missed it. Now I don't want to rewind it back because sometimes I mess up. Did she say that her mother got with the little sister father to see how they could get rid of Will? Because Will was about ready to catch on to her robbing, using up his credit card.
That's what you heard.
Okay.
Well, it's weird because she's kind of bouncing all over the place. First of all, she doesn't know how to tell a story, so she's not engaging us because she's acting like this is no big deal, but this is serious shit that she's talking about. And I don't know, maybe it has been so long that she doesn't feel anymore, but it feels like something might be wrong with her too, with the ability to have with the ability to not have empathy for others, because she could be talking about hanging out at the park. She will be in the same tone. Like there's no difference between her telling a story about her mother than it is talking about the girl at school. Like it's no emotion there. Something might be wrong with her, y'all. Now, I'm not trying to ruin the story, but the mom has that Munchausen by proxy syndrome? I don't know.
I mean, someone she had a criminal history too, a criminal syndrome too.
And I'm with you, Dorian. How could you be in the house when everybody's in on the unaliving and you the only one that don't know anything? And where did you get $50,000 from for the lawyer? And I'm this, and then you moved out and you got to take the sister's baby. Is that it? Oh no, that was her kid. That was her kid. It's really crazy. Let me just see here. Because she never received love from her mom, it appears that she has emotionally detached from society. Thank you. And I need people to show me emotion so I can feel something about the story. But right now, I'm just like, oh, y'all crazy. The whole damn house.
Damn. Yes, it is sort of wild.
Yeah. Sorry, Perry. I'm just trying to feel some kind of attachment here so I could, feel something about the story, but it just is, everything is off. It's weird.
Okay, back to it.
Right? Maybe she thought that she was going to get all this money, and apparently they were in the process of updating his insurance policy, and he was adding my mother. However, he never finalized the policy. And so that made my mother, I guess my mother thought that that's what was like she was gonna get that money. Like she's like, oh, I'm about to get this money. Like, okay, so I need to get rid of him. So
this is a beautiful young lady. Hair is fabulous. Is the mom beautiful too? Oh, they're serial killers. Never oh.
I don't know. She gonna let you know she's beautiful though. Child. She just took all his insurance money. I mean, like, and somebody said that she'd be like detached or something emotionally, maybe. Yeah. But it's like at this point, something has made her cold inside where she have no emotions on.
Yeah.
It seems like it, but it's her story. It's not mine.
All right, let's keep going.
I can get all this money and come up. So when my little brother and sister's father said that no, I lost my earring. When my little brother and sister's father said no, that he wasn't going to help her, she reached out to my sister and asked her to ask her boyfriend. Because think about it, these dudes, they're young, they're from the hood. If you're from the west side of Cleveland, then you know that it's giving kind of like low income, poverty stricken, like they don't know anything. So my mother's employment ties into this because one of her long-term clients ends up dying and supposedly left my mother in the will. And this is what she told them. Like, she left her in the will and left her some money and this not BMW, and she would give them the money if, I would give y'all $10,000 if y'all help me, get rid of him. And I guess she told them that he was beating on her and treating her all wrong and doing all this stuff. So that made them like, oh, you know what? Like, okay, we can do that. And to them, think about it, $10,000 is no money. So you already know kind of like the level of intelligence these boys have, because they think 10 bands is a lot of money. And it's like 3 of them. And so they were willing to split $10,000 in an old BMW to take somebody's life. Like, make it make sense. And so originally, I guess my sister's boyfriend told his cousin, because I guess my sister's boyfriend was going to do it, but he's like, nah, I can't, you know what, I just can't do it. So he asked his cousin. His cousin was like, oh, no, I know somebody who be shooting people all the time. That's what he do. He's a hired hitman. So I'ma call him because he know what's up and he kind of slow. And so he be doing all type of stuff. But stay tuned for part 9 because it gets even juicier, because it's even, the stuff you be like, wait, what? This really happened? Y'all, so at this
this point, they have hired this hitman who was like 19 at the time. He's kind of slow. He's known in the area for like robbing like Family Dollars and Save Lots and stuff like that.
Said the man jumped off the small bus. KMP. He don't shot a lot of people.
So, y'all just hired a slow. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. Sorry. But did she just say they hired a slow hitman?
Yeah. I mean, but they hired him because his specialty is because he was popping caps on everybody. He didn't care.
I'm so sorry. I don't want to offend anybody. Perry, crazy. It's crazy. Go ahead. Sorry.
That man all up in Family Dollar, just looting and grabbing. And now he's going to come out. $10,000 had to be a lot for him. But here we go.
Who would do that? Unalive somebody for $10,000 and a raggedy BMW.
But the crazy part, I've watched serious murder shows and people do it for $5,000. Just and half the time they get lied to, just like I think she about ready to get around to her mama scammed them too.
Like that. So he's known as like, oh, he's gonna be the hitman, but they are all like planning all this stuff out. So my mother was the mastermind behind everything.
Let me say this. There's no way in hell she didn't know what was going on. There's no way in hell. She is openly soliciting for a trigger man. And you mean to tell me you didn't know? So, you're pretty and sweet, but you sound a little bit like your mother. I'm not falling for it. But go ahead, Perry.
And she is the reason why Will is dead. And because of that, and she's the mastermind, she got life in prison, right? Now, her co-conspirators would be my sister's boyfriend, his cousin, and the shooter. So my sister's boyfriend, well, ex-boyfriend, he got 28 years. His cousin got 23 years. And the shooter, I think, got like 19 years because he didn't really know about the plan. He was just doing his job. So he got 19 years. But all of them, like, because of them, Will wouldn't be dead without them. But because my mother was the mastermind, the top dog, she was the one that went down. But the crazy thing is, so my sister got in trouble because she knew about it and did not say anything.
Pause.
But at the same time,
I'm sorry, you guys. I keep interrupting. Come on, y'all. It's no way in hell that her mom bypasses her, who's older than the sister, and go to the sister asking for all this help. And she's the only one in the house that didn't know.
Right. And then
no, she's lying.
The catcher would be this too. She named well, yeah, she went to my cousin. He said, nah, I ain't got nothing to do with that. She went to my neighbor. He said, nah, I ain't got nothing to do with that. So why they was trying to find the hitman. Yeah, the hitman. So she even make fun of the hitman being slow. You can't tell me she was so in tune of everything, how her little sister was getting treated by the mother and everything, but she didn't notice all this other stuff.
It doesn't make sense. Now, if somebody in the chat that said, wait till I get to the end and she'll explain it. But right now, I don't know if she got convicted or not, but I know a liar when I hear one. She's pretty, but you're a pretty liar. You're not, that girl, stop. And you're just as detached as your mother. Like, some people can't feel empathy for anybody but themselves. So, girl, please stop. But, hate that you're going through that you went through that. Go ahead.
My sister is underage and my mother is manipulating her and saying all this stuff. And so all of this stuff is going on. But then the crazy part, if you flip back and you start thinking about the funeral, like, stuff started making sense. Because my mother at this funeral, y'all, like, I don't know if y'all seen like them crazy like black movies where the people be like jumping in the casket like, oh, take me with him. Like, I can't do it. Like, I can't live without him. I can't. That's how my mother was acting. My mother showed her ass. at that funeral. You hear me? Showed her ass. She wouldn't stop crying. And then because he was a firefighter, there was like a lieutenant, there was a firefighter fund. They gave her money. I went to go pick up some of that money because let me tell you, I was there as being like the good daughter to help her mother through this whole situation. I was just helping her. And then my sister was also being really weird during this whole time because my mother was just letting her off with her boyfriend, and she was staying with her boyfriend and living with her boyfriend at 17. I'm up here and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, stuff was just not making sense. So now when all of the pieces start coming together, you're like, yo, this is some wild shit. Like, I cannot believe all this stuff happened. And because of that, like, my sister got involved, and my sister, because she was underage, she was going to juvie, so she was charged as a juvenile. And so with it being a juvenile, oh y'all, I'm about to end time. So like I was saying, it was 2 years. The trial took 2 years to happen. So by the time the trial finally happened, my sister ends up getting juvie life. So juvie life is until you're 21. However, by the time my mother got, because you know you have a trial and then you have sentencing. So by the time my mother got sentenced, my sister was 20 and turning 21 that next month. So y'all can't tell me that Jesus wasn't with my sister the whole time. Because y'all think about this. My sister has been on house arrest for 2 years. Finally, by the time they go to trial, part of her plea is she gets juvie life. Juvie life is until you're 21. My sister is 20 and turning 21 in three-ish weeks.
So it sounds like her sister got lucky that they charge us as a juvie, but since she was on house arrest, then
I don't mean to be mean, but Perry, she's describing this story as if I asked her what happened at the football game. She like boom, bam, and no empathy.
Child, I know my mama got in the clanker, but my sister got out because she was charged as a juvie, and and then the slow hitter, the hitman, he only got 19 years because he was slow and he didn't really know what was going on. Everybody else did the plan. I don't know. It sounds crazy, but people are saying that she stayed outside the house. So when this stuff was going on, she wasn't living at home. That's why she didn't hear the rumors.
There's no way, Perry, that I can live.
They also said that she was standing by herself and she was a stripper or something. So she probably was busy.
No. You guys, I don't want to be the odd man out. But even if I don't live in the house, if they are going around soliciting a trigger man, that means they're kind of open with it. I don't know. Keep going. I don't want to be the only one. I believe what she's saying because people are saying this is true and stuff, but I don't believe that she didn't know. And she might need to be in jail with their asses because this something ain't right.
Or it could just be that she just didn't give a damn. She didn't hear the stuff, but really, truly don't care. Maybe.
So by the time they sentenced my sister, she ends up going to like a halfway camp situation for a couple weeks. Now, mind you, during this time, when all this stuff went down, I ended up taking custody of my sister's son. My sister had a son with her boyfriend at the time when all this stuff was going on. Come to find out, they had like a little, I guess y'all both in trouble. Y'all make a love child after all this craziness going on. So that's how he ended up being conceived. And my sister made me his godmother. And I remember when he was born, she told me like, hey, if anything ever happens to me, I want you to take care of him. Like, please look out for me. So when all this stuff went down, I literally lived in Oklahoma. I had to drop everything I had and go grab him because my sister's boyfriend's mother was acting a complete fool when all this stuff went down because she was like, oh, well, if my son is going away, I'm taking your son away, and you ain't never gonna see your son if I have to wait for all this stuff, because she was clearly blaming my sister as to the reason why her son decided to do what he did and be caught up in all this mess. And so it was just a lot going.
Well, I mean, basically, she do got a little something to do with it if she went and asked him, could he do it? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the story. She said, first they asked their father, her little sister father, no, he wouldn't help. Then her little sister, that's so precious, went and asked the boyfriend to do it. Then he went out and found the slow hitman.
But Perry, I can
no.
top you one. How do you try to unalive your husband and you're not even on the insurance plan? You didn't even check that out? The whole thing is asinine. Like, I'm going to take your life and I'm going to hire a slow man to do it. And I don't even take step one is to find out if you're on the insurance.
He probably was moving too quick. They was getting a new house. They had just did the insurance papers, but Will didn't turn the insurance papers in. She was
But you should have known that. You've got to find that out.
And this
I
probably
don't plan a
happened in
whole
January.
unaliving, and I don't even know if I'm on the insurance plan. Good for you, Perry, because the women is just, I bet you the whole house is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. It makes no sense. Oh my gosh.
Back to the
crazy.
story.
Mm-hmm.
And so then after the sentencing, girl, all the shows start coming. I said donkey of the day because my mother was literally donkey of the day. She was.
So this is true because people are saying they've seen it on TV. She's saying that Charlemagne the God called the mom the donkey of the day. So yeah, I'm gonna not call these girls if I need somebody unalive because the whole thing is just a 5-year-old could have did better. And something tells me she knows and she probably acts just like the mom. Even when I'm retelling a story, you relive it every time you retell a story. And she's like, boom, bap, bam. And this what happened, girl. No, she shouldn't have told the story. Go ahead. Sorry.
On the Shade Room, there wasn't a place, a storyline, a news outlet that was not posting this story because the crazy thing is she did all this and didn't get no money. So she looks like an idiot. She did all of this and didn't get no money. And then at the trial, she did not testify and she did not show any remorse. Like, she was just looking like, it is what it is. And like when my sister was on trial testifying against her, she was just looking at my sister like she wanted to kill my sister because my sister was telling the truth. So long story short, after all of that, that's why my mother's serving a life sentence. She got life in prison. And then the first couple of years she was in denial. Like she didn't believe that she was actually, in prison. So, and what I'm going to be talking about is what happened.
Perry, what are you? What else could she possibly talk about? So the mother got life. And what did
she probably going to go is probably, because I didn't get this far. How her mother kept trying to say probably she was innocent and asking for her to put, she probably come and say her mama was asking her to put money on her books and she'll pay her back when she get out. That's what I'm thinking.
Go ahead.
In between the time of Will's funeral and when my mom went to prison. So those 2 years were crazy. A lot happened. My mother did end up moving into the house because the next day they were literally scheduled to move in. So they moved. The firefighters came and helped her move so she wasn't doing it by herself. Like they were all going through Will's stuff. He did get cremated, so his kids got a portion of him, and then she also had him in a urn and stuff like that. But my mother was being weird because she didn't even stay at that house long. A lot of times, a lot of people thought, well, maybe she just didn't want to have to do it by herself, like what was going on. And so then she told me that she's moving to North Carolina. Now, around that time, I had just moved from North Carolina to Oklahoma. Like, we stayed in North Carolina for a little bit, and I was moving to Oklahoma. So I moved to Oklahoma. She's moving to North Carolina. At that time, I wanted my little sister to come move with me because I could not understand why my mother was letting her just be out here all willy-nilly with her boyfriend. I'm like, what is going on? Like, maybe my mother has lost it. Like, losing Will made her go crazy or something. Like, I don't know. So she's telling me that she has moved to right outside of Fayetteville, like the suburbs area of Fayetteville. I have a cousin there who retired from the military, and so she was living there. And my mother got a townhouse, and she was staying with my grandmother. Like, my mother's mother lived with her. She was on Social Security, and I guess that was steady income for my mother, was my grandmother. Come to find out.
Damn, she was using her mama too. It sort of reminds me of somebody on the YouTube streets, but I'm gonna keep going.
So this is around funeral time, right?
See, I don't know. She told me about now they done moved to Fayetteville. Her and her mother and her grandmother, because she had a cousin down there that
People from North Carolina, they're crazy. Oh, you're from North Carolina, right?
Yeah, no, they moved to North Carolina. They was in they was in Ohio. See, that's a difference. we
Where
can't,
my people are.
we can't stop them from moving in.
Okay.
Yeah.
My mother was telling me that my sister was also living with her, but she really wasn't. I was calling, trying to talk to my sister. There was always some craziness going around. So randomly, I get this DM, right? And this DM is from my sister's cousin. And she was like, Jessica, I can't take this no more. You need to come to Cleveland and get your sister because her baby shower is tomorrow and she's pregnant. I'm like, my sister who? They're like, your sister, your only sister you got, she's pregnant and she's due like in 2 weeks. I said, how is that even possible? So during this whole time, I didn't know that my sister got pregnant. My mother had moved to North Carolina and left my sister in Ohio with her boyfriend, who kept getting kicked out of the house from her baby daddy's mom's house. It was just a mess. Like, all of this stuff going on. I had to call, cuss out my mama, because why am I finding out this through a DM on Instagram, y'all? So I find all this out and I'm pissed because I'm like, why am I in the dark? Why is nobody telling me? And so I called my sister like, so you pregnant? And she just starts crying and she's like, well, mommy said that you wouldn't talk to me no more and that you're so upset and you're so disappointed because I'm not finishing school and all this other stuff. I told y'all at the very beginning that my mother does a very good job at manipulating people. So my mother manipulated my sister into believing that I wasn't going to look out for her because she got pregnant. So she's like, well, when I have this baby, that's when I told y'all before, she asked me to be his godparent, all this stuff, because I couldn't even get to her fast enough because literally after her baby shower, she went into labor pretty soon. And so I'm calling my mother like, how come you left your pregnant daughter? You left your pregnant underage daughter under somebody else's care? Like, what is wrong with you? So this is having me, I'm starting to look at her sideways. I always look at my mama sideways, but I'm really looking at her sideways like, wow, you are so selfish. And then the fact that you were lying to me, like when I tell y'all, I would call my mother and I would ask to speak to my sister. She must have been calling her on three-way, making this whole ordeal to try to keep up this lie. Because you know, when you first start lying, you got to keep up with the lies because it's a lie after lie after lie after lie after lie. Like you got to keep lying to keep it up. And so I make my mother, I said, well, if you have this child, and your baby, mind you, my sister is the baby. She's the youngest out of all three of us. And you mean to tell me you about to let your daughter have this baby by herself? I said, what's wrong with you? Get yourself together and you need to move back to Ohio and be with your daughter. What is wrong with you? So I didn't realize that my mother was having money problems at this point because she don't have her business no more. She's not getting any money. She did not get any money from his like his social security or anything. Like all of that type of stuff went to Will's children. So my mother apparently is using my grandmother's social security check as her means of income. And apparently she made my sister get an apartment and they're all living in this one-ish 2-bedroom apartment. So that's literally a few months later, I end up going up to this apartment to go home and visit because I'm like, I keep hearing all this weird stuff. Like I'm trying to see what's going on. And I wanted to see my nephew. So when I go up there, it's something going on with my sister's apartment. I can't go. The furniture is being delivered. It's all these weird excuses. So I'm already looking out.
Sorry. So she unalived this man and didn't get anything, not even Social Security. And they're living in a 1-bedroom roach motel.
Yeah. See, maybe the mother wasn't at Social Security age. Oh, I don't know. If he passed. Oh, hold on. Yeah, well, I don't know. Don't get me to lie.
Yeah, this
is crazy.
It's crazy.
I'm looking sideways, like something is up. And then she was dressing real. She wasn't being herself because if you knew anything about my mother is very well put together, honey. She makes sure she is the top of the line. And she was giving really, really basic, y'all. And the type of car she was driving, it was giving like, what is going on? Like, you're really going through it. Like, something is wrong. Like, I come to visit my nephew. This has to be January because my nephew was born in October. January, I came like right after the holidays. My mother was very adamant about going to take pictures. She's like, oh, I just want to take family pictures. But at this time, my brother is not messing with my mother. Like, my brother, he took him and his girlfriend and his son. They moved because when all this stuff happened, like when Will was shot, my brother and his girlfriend and his son was there. Like, literally, he had a 4-month-old, and he just was like, some things my brother kind of expressed to me was like, mommy was just acting real weird. He's like, I'm not saying that mommy's involved, but stuff was just looking real fishy. And so for that, he kind of he gave his distance because he was like, the police kept looking at him because, my brother lived there. They lived in one of those duplexes. So if you're from Ohio, if you're from up north, East Coast, Midwest area, they have duplex houses where it's an upstairs and a downstairs, but they're two separate residences. And he lived downstairs, and he was like, my girlfriend was coming in with food too from the front door. So when those shots was going off, something was going on. Like, she could have got hurt, like anything. He was just like, stuff wasn't right. So he moved way out, and he wasn't messing with my mother. And so then that kind of had me feeling some type of way, like, do he know something he not telling me? But he was like, no, sis, I don't know nothing. But your mother just, the way she acting, I can't mess with her. So then we go take pictures. My mother's just like, I love you. She's saying all this stuff, and it's just like, what is going on? Then my nephew and my sister looks like she wants to talk to me, but she don't really know how. Stuff is just being real weird. Fast forward a few months later, I come back, maybe like in the summertime, to see my nephew, play with him. Like, he's learning how to walk. So it's probably like August. So this August, we see him. My husband at the time, I'm divorced, so y'all, that's a whole nother story. So I had a husband, we were together, and we were gonna do all this stuff together, and we was, with my nephew, all this stuff. But the place that my mother and my sister and my grandmother were living in was real foul. Like, the apartment didn't have no furniture. It looked like my mother was living out of this car. Like, she had all these clothes and stuff in this car. She was smelling like she was like musty all the time, but not just like a regular musty, like a foul smell. And I remember back in the day, my mother was like, if I ever go to jail, if something ever go on with me, like, I'm gonna just be stank because ain't nobody gonna want this, ain't nobody gonna try to get me and all this other stuff. And I'm slowly starting to look at stuff, and I'm like, yo, what's really going on here? Because something is just not right. Like, things are not right, y'all. I go visit. So I told y'all I was visiting my mother and them at the end of August. Stuff was looking foul. Stuff didn't seem right. She had this little raggedy car. My mother's always driven top of the line. My mother looks good head to toe. She carried herself very well. That was just part of her image. That was part of what she was doing. Then she had this boyfriend, which was very random. Was this guy, was this truck driver that she met in Atlanta all of a sudden. And I'm just like, what is, like, it looks like somebody that she would never be with. So I'm kind of like, I'm trying to figure out stuff, like, what's going on. I'm like, stuff is weird, but I can't put my foot on it. Like, something is off, and I don't know what it is. Y'all, 2 weeks later is when my sister called me and told me that she got a subpoena for the grand jury. And I wasn't putting 2 and 2 together yet. I was just like, that's weird. And then the shit hit the fan. That's when all this stuff started coming out. This one is stuff with my mom. And even to get my mom to turn herself in, it was like different people had came, and like my aunts and my friends, like different people were saying all this stuff. Like, my mom was writing suicidal notes and all this weird stuff. Like, I'm sorry. Like, at first she had wrote this note, like, I'm sorry if I hurt anybody. I love you guys. Like, she had left a note for me, one for my brother, and one for my sister. And
This is almost over. I think I found the case.
Oh, good.
Should I pull it up, or let's just finish this? This is like
Yeah,
one
yes,
more
yes.
minute.
Okay.
And I'm already like, what is going on? So I'm tripping like, yo, my mother was really involved in this. Like, I can't believe it. But then my mother switched it up all of a sudden, y'all. My mama crazy, y'all. She switched it up. She went from saying that, no, she didn't have anything to do with it, to it was my sister. So that's what caused so much beef, because my mother was saying that she wasn't the mastermind behind it. It was my sister. My sister had this whole plan, all because she didn't like Will and how Will was treating her and all this stuff. And then you start looking at some of the evidence, when you start putting stuff together, my mother the whole time was setting my sister up. So if anything ever went down, my mother tried to make it look like my sister did it. That's why she was so adamant about the sister's boyfriend being involved. That's why my mother kind of like had this one phone, and then a few months after all that stuff with Will, she gave my sister the phone, or they were like sharing the phone. It was weird. And so when you start looking at everything in a big picture, you like, yo, my mama is sick. Like, she really killed this man for the insurance money, and was really, if she ever got caught, she was going to pin it on her younger daughter. That's why she didn't care if where my sister had this baby. None of this stuff. My mother was gone. She did not care, y'all.
Damn. All right. Well.
Okay, I think I found it. Now, if you guys in the chat that seen it, let me know.
Hold on, Sharrell. I'll be right back.
Okay, this is the cuckooest batshit crazy story I have ever heard. I had to look it up because I think this is it. Okay, hold on. This is insane. Absolutely insane. Okay, let me know in the chat if this is it. This would be the mother. Her name is Ulamina. This would be she said he was a lieutenant, fireman. The sister is the underage juvenile. Here's the boyfriend. And I don't know who these two people are. And the name of this article is called Woman Convicted of Hiring Trigger Man to Unalive Husband for Insurance Money. And what year is this? 2017. This has to be it.
Was it in Cleveland? Yep, that's it.
It's in Cleveland. This has to be it. Now, that's the mom. That's the mastermind. Child, let me read this article real quick. Sorry, Perry, I know I'm supposed to, but it's a Cleveland mother and newlywed accused of ordering her firefighter husband unaliving to collect $100,000 in insurance money has been convicted of aggravated unaliving in a scheme that was flawed from the start. Thank you. I thought it was in my head. I was like, this story don't make no sense. They're just a group of, not so smart people. And his ex-wife was still the beneficiary of his policy. So she thought. It says here, Ulamina Walker Curry, 45, could receive a life sentence without the possibility of parole for the November 2013, somebody said it was 2013, unaliving of William Walker, whom she married just 4 months earlier.
That's why people say that she didn't get no part of the Social Security money. Neither you have to be married X amount of years.
Who is this? Pleaded guilty to the role. This is the slow hitman. This is the crazy. Perry, you keep trying to outdo yourself. Yeah, that's crazy. It's a true story. Something wrong with that daughter too. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not trying to criticize an obvious victim, but I think these people lack common sense and the ability to feel remorse for anybody else. Why y'all laughing in the chat? Something wrong. The killer man, he didn't even comb his head the day of the damn. He looked slow. He looked slow. He did all that for you gave your life away for $10,000 that you had to split with your friend and some BMW that needed fixing up. It wasn't even a brand new BMW that you could have drove off the lot. Child, Perry.
He said he was slow, so we're gonna give him a pass. Maybe. But
That's
look,
the-
that's the story I got today. Now I know it was crazy,
it was
but
crazy.
it takes me away from reality. I can just jump out here and just watch something
Someone says it's
totally
on the
different.
ID channel.
Mm. So, but my question is, do you guys want me to keep doing these things, or should I just trash it? I mean,
Okay,
because
ask.
hmm? I
Tell
mean,
them put
because
a yes if we should
yeah,
keep going.
put a yes if I should keep going, so we can hang out and watch these people either tell us the truth or lie to us. I don't know. Put a yes in the chat.
Bobo
Put
said
a-
he's seen this too. Child, it was good. I'm gonna say yeah.
Bobo don't
It was.
miss much. Okay, if anybody got stabbed, Bobo don't heard about it. Don't seen it.
They said that we'll keep going. Perry, you showing her how to pick them. Child, that was a mess. That was a mess.
No, it's a lot of interesting ones, but I just think I was like, wow, let me try to get this ready today.
It
I'm like,
was crazy. It
no
turned out
family
to be
members
good
took
because we
out
had to put a
something.
little thought into it. It was
Yeah,
good.
yeah. It's
Mm-mm-mm.
Friday. It's Friday night. We going into the weekend.
Oh, someone said you could tell another one if you want. Now? I
No,
don't
they don't
know.
mean that because Perry gonna have to eat in a few minutes.
Okay. Hey, Deb. Coming from Ohio, there are some very strange places. Look up Steubenville, Ohio. It's crazy. Oh my God. These people are crazy. And then she actually said my mom hired a slow.
That's crazy because
All right.
I got a friend that stayed in
Steubenville.
Steubenville. Mm-hmm.
All right. So we'll watch another one tomorrow after I
Yeah,
do my hot topics because this is crazy.
if that's what they want, I mean, it's easier for me because I can sit here like I'm gonna watch it regardless, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but if they want to watch it with me, that's what we'll do.
Child.
So,
You had
but,
three crazy stories. All
yeah.
right.
But I
I'm
want
gonna
to
go
thank
ahead.
everybody for popping in, hanging out with me and Sharrell, and we will definitely see you tomorrow. So, everybody, if we don't see you, have a great weekend. Be safe. Until then, bye, everybody.
Bye. That was crazy.